Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Estate Circuit, Builders, Brokers, and Beyond. I'm your host, Kim Mashik, and today I have on the show with me Wayne Granger, who is a financial advisor with Edward Jones. Welcome to the show, Wayne.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you could take the time out of the day today. I guess tell me a little bit about what you do. I mean, I know you're a financial advisor, but I believe you do more than that.
Yeah, as a financial advisor, obviously, we work with our clients for helping them build their plan for anything, whether it's business or personal. We help them build that plan so that they can retire comfortably, keep them on track after we've got them through that plan. But I specialize in businesses and small business. I've been a small business owner, and I've been in educational finance and then financial advising for going on 12 and a half years. But as a specialty, I am what's called a certified exit planning advisor, or CEPA, as it would be called. And what certified exit planning advisors do is we work with business owners to help them prepare their business for an eventual exit. And it's estimated about 80% of a business owner's wealth is in their business. Being able to extract that wealth so they can retire from it is what a SEPA and a team can do to help them achieve those goals and take all the time and hard work they put into their business and allow it to become a retirement for them.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that something that a lot of financial advisors or Edward Jones offices do, or is that kind of specific to your office?
So SEPA is a national and international accreditation. Sometimes people may be familiar with a certified financial planner. SEPA is similar in that there's additional coursework and training that we go through, as well as continuing education to make sure that we're up to date. But it is something, Edward Jones actually leads the industry in terms of the number of SEPAs. We have hundreds across the firm, and it's something that we have a very strong network of, not just in Edward Jones, but as well as the partners that we would work with.
Awesome. That's very cool. I didn't know anything about that, so that's very cool. You kind of covered some of this, but I mean, what exactly is the exit plan, and why does it matter to someone who owns their business?
The strength of an exit plan, really, the exit plan is I would say it's two things. One is it's a strategy, right? It's a strategy to plan your exit from your business at some point. Every business owner is going to exit at some point. And so we want to have a strategy that's going to help us get to that point. And having a strong plan and a strategy while you're currently running your business allows you to be exit ready at any moment. You just don't know when life might happen, an
Mhm.
opportunity will come up that is just too good to pass on. But if your business is not ready for exit, you could miss out on that opportunity.
Gotcha. No, that makes total sense. What would an like if someone's listening right now and they're kind of thinking about that that exact thing, right? They're either going to sell it or exit from it. What's an effective exit plan include so that they can kind of start preparing, I guess, before they even talk to you, maybe?
It's really about the strategy for what is needed on the backside, right? So as an exit planner and a financial advisor, I'm working with clients about what their retirement goals would be and where they're at today. And we have to close that gap. What is the lifestyle that they want in retirement? What do they want it to look like? We then will have a gap, and the exit plan is going to help us close that gap so they can enjoy the retirement plan that they want. The other thing is that, and that's on the personal side. On the business side, we need the business to be attractive to someone else, whether that's an internal transfer, like a family member, maybe there's an existing partner that's already in there. We need to have that business be attractive to someone else to buy, or else there's no value. And so building that attractiveness is part of the exit plan. So preparing the owner personally for the exit. And then there's a parallel track is then working to prepare the business for the owner's departure. And that's an important part of it is we have to make sure that the business has systems and processes in place that are independent of that owner that's planning to exit. Because the last thing we want is that owner to exit and take all of the expertise and the systems with them, which leaves a business with no value.
Sure. No, that makes total sense. I mean, do you recommend even like writing stuff down, like steps and whatnot, or what? I mean, what kind of preparation would one expect or should expect?
Yep. So a business exit plan is kind of a modification of their normal business plan, but obviously it's targeted towards exiting and building what we call enterprise value. So enterprise value is the value of the company to the open market, whether, like I said, whether that's an investment firm, some there the exit might actually be selling to a competitor, right? So maybe in an industry, your competitor's growth plan is acquiring other businesses that are like theirs. It's got to be attractive to them as well. And so we want to make sure that that plan is there. And that plan isn't just a financial advisor. There's a team. So SEPA is not unique to financial advisors. There are attorneys that are SEPA. There are business advisors that help evaluate the business. There are, I'm sorry, just various professionals in different CPAs. Sorry, that's what I was trying to get to. There are CPAs that are SEPAs. The value of that is that it forms a team. And so when we start down this path with a business owner, it's not one person. It is a team of individuals that are helping in each of their respective areas of expertise so that we can build the strongest plan. I'm not an expert in everything. I can't give tax advice. I can't give legal advice, but I can work with an owner to help them see where they want to be down the road and help us to get that plan in place. And then when they get there, how do they then see that plan through the end of their retirement years?
No, that's great. And I know that you had kind of said that one should start planning early for this. I mean, hypothetically, time frame wise, I guess, if someone were to be like, you know what, I don't want to work this job anymore. I want to retire early or whatever the case may be. I mean, what's that time frame kind of
Yeah.
look like? I mean,
So,
what ideas
uh,
should they have in their head?
yeah, a fast exit is less than a year.
Okay.
So this isn't a I want to leave tomorrow. What we want to do is we want to build that plan. So if that happens, we're in a better position because life does happen, right? There
Sure.
are, they call them the 5Ds, which are related to the things that can really, they're unplanned events like death, divorce, disability. You maybe have disagreements with your partners or anyone else. And so by planning for those, because you just don't know what's going to happen,
Mhm.
this is just sound business practice. It's not unique to if you do this work and decide I'm going to exit in 5 to 10 years, you're not wasting the effort because it's strong business practice today because you're going to increase your profitability. You're going to increase your systems and processes that help you run better. So it's a strong business practice today. Typically, we say you want to be anywhere from 2 to 5 years out for an exit plan.
Okay.
And that allows their time for the team to help you increase your value and make your business attractive so that when it does come time and the decision is, yep, I'm ready, your business is ready as well.
Gotcha. No, that makes total sense. So I know a couple people who might be thinking about this actually already, and hopefully they'll watch this. But what are the first steps, and then how would one get started with you or someone like you?
Yep. The first step is building that team, right? And some of the team may already be in place for a business, right? So a business owner likely already has a CPA that they're working with, their CFO, whatever that is. They likely already have an attorney, depending on the size of their business. So building that team, the core team really is the financial advisor, CPA, an attorney, and then what's called the business advisor, evaluation advisor. Those are really the core. And then we always work with the family, because that's a key component of all of this, is that personal track as well as the business track. So building the team, and there's someone in that team that kind of recognizes this is a time for us to start heading down the path of building an exit plan, and we should look for the expertise and assemble that team. So assembling the team is really the first step in your business exit plan.
Okay. Very cool. And then I guess steps after that, I mean, what's the process, I guess, look like? Because I have a feeling there's a lot of people out there who are going to be like, this sounds like it could be very time consuming, very lengthy. I guess what are some of the things that you could say to ease their mind on, what will be needed if they do or don't have things lined up already? I mean, I'm thinking like your financial books and like all that stuff are probably going to be a key component, of course. So if you're not keeping
Yes.
very clean books, like what kind of things should they start preparing, I guess?
And that's where the expertise of the team comes in. So let's just take the example of the books. So working with their CPA to make sure the books are in a strong place. Because if it gets to a point where there is a purchase that's imminent, there's going to be a due diligence period that's going to look back at those books, and they'll likely look back several years. So this isn't a thing of, oh, I think I have an opportunity, I should clean up my books now. They're going to be looking back, because anyone who's buying, especially if there's significant value, they're going to conduct their due diligence and make sure this company is a solid investment. And if your books aren't in order, that's clearly something that could be an issue. So what would the financial advisor, what we do is we would work with the client and say, what do you want? So let's target this. This is towards a retirement. Sometimes exit could be, I'm exiting from this company and I'm going to create a windfall of a liquidation event to then go and build or invest in my next company. So it's not always exit and then retirement. It could be. But what is that plan? What is the plan after the exit? Is it investing in a new company? Is it starting up a new one? Is it retirement? Financial advisors, we work with our clients to determine what that next thing is and what it's going to look like. That establishes a, a, a number, so to speak, of what is needed to accomplish that goal.
Sure.
We then look and say there's a gap, and this gap is now what we want to fill with the proceeds from the sale and the exit of the business. So working with the CPA, the attorneys, the business valuation advisors, potentially depending on the industry, there may be systems and process improvements. There are a vast number of experts that can bring their expertise into the fold so that
Mhm.
we build a strong plan. For those that are familiar with project management, SEPA takes some of the items from project management of doing what are called sprints. If we get into a true exit planning sprint, we would have a 90-day window of we're going to improve on or build a process to address one issue that if we improve this, we're going to improve the value of the business. So those sprints can be managed. That might be the value advisor that's working with them. It might be their CPA saying, we need to do better at these expenses. All of those things help us determine what those gaps are. And once we've decided, here's what we need to accomplish our goal, to accomplish the exit, what is that number? Then we have to say, what's the business worth? And that's really where most of the work comes into play, is what's the value of the business.
Sure. No, and I'm sure that different industries are different as well, like service industries versus, um, I don't even know what else I would compare, I guess,
Yep.
but I would,
Manufacturing or
right. Do those, I mean, obviously there's different steps and probably different ways you evaluate. Is that
mhm.
accurate?
So there,
Does,
yeah, there's a couple different ways to evaluate. So there is an informal evaluation process that we have partners that can work with a business owner to get a general idea of the value of their company. It really, in the simplest forms, it comes down to basically your net profitability, because that's what a potential buyer is looking for is there profitability and is there growth potential?
Hmm.
And so we would help, determine what that amount is. Um, that's an informal evaluation, just to get a general idea. Here's what my business is worth. And now we've established that number on the back end, the exit number. What is the gap? Once you get into a more formal process, maybe you have an offer, maybe we're in due diligence, then we need to do a formal evaluation. And those formal evaluations are conducted by experts. They may be in investment banking and mergers and acquisitions. It may be CPAs. They're going to do a formal, and that's where they're really digging into those books and
Hmm.
making sure that they're in order to establish an actual valuation. Once we establish the value of the business, there's then what's called a multiple that gets applied when it comes to purchasing. That multiple is where you can really, the work from exit planning really accelerates the value of your business, because we take that number and we're going to apply a multiple based on industry averages. And so if you are not running your business as well as the industry best in class, you're going to have a lower multiple. If you're running best in class, you're going to be a higher multiple. So depending on the industries, and this is where the expertise is somewhat outside of what I do, those multiples can range from 3 to 10 times that initial business valuation that we get. So you can see there's a drastic number of, if you have a multiple of 4, because you've got a just below average business,
Hmm.
versus you're pushing like an 8 or more because you're best in class, you've doubled the value of that business at exit. And that's a huge difference to you of the importance to be able to close that gap.
Definitely. I mean, I guess in doing this, what's one of the biggest things that you've seen that has caused or created added value that maybe wasn't there before somebody started talking to you or you guys started working through stuff? I mean, not specifics, of course, but like,
So
what's
there
one thing
there's a lot
somebody,
of there's a lot of different options out there. So some of the ones that are probably the simplest for people to understand is, I'll just give an example of customer concentration. If you're running a manufacturing business, and that manufacturing business, if 50% of all of your revenue comes from 1 or 2 customers, there's a concern that's very over concentrated in terms of where that revenue is coming from. If one or both of those customers changes their mind, they cease to exist, you just lost half your revenue.
right?
And so looking at that over concentration in customers is a very common one that can be addressed in that, we need to look at, and this is where the business analyst and those experts in CBOOK can work, is how are we going to diversify our customer base so we're not living and dying by just a handful of customers. So that's customer concentration. You may have a supply concentration. Again, let's talk manufacturing. If your supply comes from a very few sources, same thing. You lose that source, you just lost your ability to produce. So those are things that may not be thought of in the course of doing business, because I know small business owners, your head's down just running your business. You're
Mm-hmm.
just doing what you have to do. And so doing that is a way to get a different perspective on your business, that CEPAs have that viewpoint, and we each have our own area of expertise to help them understand what those pain points might be and how we can address them.
Cool. No, that all makes perfect sense. Are there different types of exit plans? Because I think we've talked about this a little bit. Are there like I know you kind of mentioned at the beginning, someone looking to sell their business maybe to a competitor. Is there different types of exit strategies that you can comment on at all?
So just, I mean, just in a general rule, and obviously each would be specific to what that business would need and what's best for that specific instance. There may be a total liquidation where it is, I'm all in, you buy my business and I step out and I'm happy and moved on to my next thing, whatever that is. There are options where there may be an option to perhaps sell half of the business and remain in it while you help them oversee the transition. And so there's an earnout phase where perhaps there's a liquidity event of some portion to start, and then over time there's additional payments to reach that final number. So those types of options is what investment banking and attorneys really they have the expertise in, but it's not always like selling a home, right? It's not just this finite, we're done, we've closed, we've moved on. There are other options that can be done in terms of that. It may be you sell like I said, I mentioned the competitors. You have a larger competitor who loves your model, and the opportunity is they're going to buy some share in to bring you capital that helps drive you for 10 years and then get you that exit. It's limitless, the number of options that are out there.
Very cool. No, that's awesome. I think that's great for people to know. And this is very clearly something that every business owner should start thinking about even well before retirement. Because, like you said, you
Yes.
never know when something might come up where you have to or you need to or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners on how to contact you? Are you, by the way, I guess, are you able to do this in multiple states or are you strictly Colorado?
I am licensed in Colorado, but Edward Jones is national in the U.S. and Canada, and we have an amazing team across our entire firm. So obviously, if there's anybody that's not an area that I can serve, I am going to connect them with another Edward Jones advisor. That'll be a SEPA that'll help them get them on the path that they need. We have just an amazing team at our home office that is working on this, and yeah, I'm sure we can serve anybody anywhere.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, do you have anything else that you'd like people to know about you, how to find you?
So I'm with Edward Jones, and I'm in Longmont, Colorado. And so you can find me on our Edward Jones website with Edward Jones, and then my name gets you right there, as well as on LinkedIn. Um, the best way to contact me is via email. And then I'm happy to give conversations. If it's an area that I cannot help, then I will obviously help direct you to something or someone that will help, because the whole goal is to serve small business owners. The
Right,
last thing I want is a small business owner to look up and they decide it's time to retire and they're not able to pull the wealth out of their business.
right,
And so that's really how making sure that strategy of exit planning is aligned with your personal goals, and having that right team in place gives you that peace of mind. So that over the next, if it is a 2 to 5 year exit, you're going to feel like you're in a great position because you have a team between your financial advisor and everybody else that's working for your benefit to help you take that wealth out of your business. Because small business owners work, work, work. I know how it goes. And so they may not have the opportunity to, based on their industry, to be contributing to a large 401k or a profit sharing plan. Financial advisors and SEPA teams can help them build that transition plan so they can exit and enjoy all of their hard work.
that is awesome. And I will have your information below for anybody who may need to reach out or want to reach out to you, even just to have that initial discussion. So I will let you get back to your day. I very much appreciate you taking the time out. I'm sure you're super busy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm glad I could help.
Awesome. Well, everyone, I will have his information in the description, so reach out to him anytime. And you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.